Artificial intelligence gets thrown around a lot, but it's not just some tech buzzword. It's a force that is fundamentally changing, completely rewriting the rules for the insurance industry. But here's the thing, it's not happening overnight. It's actually a journey happening in three distinct stages. And today, we're going to walk through every single one of them. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the three big evolutionary stages of AI. Then we'll dive deep into each one. First up is ANI, the AI that's all around us right now. Next, we'll look ahead to AGI, the future intelligent partner. And then we'll get into ASI, the superintelligence that might just rewrite reality itself. Finally, we'll pull it all together and ask, what does this mean for the role of the insurance agent? So check out this timeline. It really maps out the entire journey we're talking about. Right now and all the way up to about 2030, we're living in the era of ANI, or artificial narrow intelligence. But then, starting around 2030, things shift into the AGI phase. That's artificial general intelligence. And if you look even further out to around 2040, that's when we're projected to enter the age of ASI, or artificial superintelligence. So let's start with where we are today. All right, so Section 1, the data-driven present. Right now, we are smack dab in the middle of the ANI age. And let me be clear, this isn't sci-fi stuff we're dreaming about. This is the specialized AI that's already a core competitive weapon in the insurance industry, changing the game as we speak. So what exactly is ANI? Well, think of it like a specialist. It's an AI that is incredibly good at one specific thing, like analyzing mountains of data, spotting patterns humans would miss, or even generating text. And because of this laser focus, the whole competitive landscape in insurance is shifting. It's moving away from who you know and your personal relationships, and it's all becoming about something new. Who has the most efficient, data-driven way to predict what's next? Take sales and marketing, for example. The old game of relying on gut feelings, it's over. Now it's a race of speed and accuracy. ANI is using something called propensity modeling. It's crunching everything from past contracts to what people are saying on social media to predict which clients might be about to leave or who might need a new policy. It then spits out these super personalized next best action recommendations. What does that mean for agents? It means they can swoop in with the perfect offer before their competition even has a clue. Okay, now let's talk about underwriting. Here, the whole competition is about two things: pricing risk with surgical precision and closing the deal instantly. We're talking about AI-driven risk scoring that can look at real-world data, video from a car's dash cam or photos of a building, and create a custom risk profile right then and there. This makes automated, instant contract processing possible. And believe me, that is completely changing what customers expect. So what happens when something actually goes wrong, when there's an accident? Well, in claims, ANI is an absolute game changer. You've got visual AI that can look at a picture of a dented car and give you a damage estimate in just minutes. But it's not all about speed. At the same time, you have sentiment analysis that can listen to the tone of a customer's voice on a call. This helps the staff provide genuinely more empathetic, more effective support right when people need it most. Just look at this summary. This shift is massive. Before, customer acquisition was all about relationships. Now, it's AI-powered. Contracting used to take days, even weeks. Now, it's instant. Claims went from a long manual process to immediate AI evaluation. But the biggest change, the fundamental one, is the value proposition itself. It's shifting from "we'll pay you back after something bad happens" to "we'll help you prevent that bad thing from ever happening in the first place." But listen, ANI is just the first step. The next major leap forward, which we expect to see around 2030, is artificial general intelligence, AGI. And this is where things get really interesting. This is the point where AI stops being a simple tool that just does tasks for us and becomes something much more. It becomes an autonomous, strategic partner. And the difference between the two is just stark. You can think of ANI as basically clerical automation. It takes the stuff we already do and just makes it faster. AGI, that's a whole different ballgame. It's more like an autonomous, strategic life partner. It doesn't just crunch numbers, it actually thinks, it reasons, and it provides guidance. So what really sets AGI apart? It's its ability to reason like a human. It can understand context, it can think logically, and, this is the key part, it can connect the dots between completely different fields. We're talking about linking knowledge from finance and law and even a client's personal goals and dreams, all to make a decision that's truly holistic. So, if we look at consulting, for instance, an AGI doesn't even think in terms of selling a product. That whole concept is gone. Instead, it becomes a kind of intellectual guardian. It gets to know a client's entire life story, their goals, everything. And then it can autonomously negotiate with other AGIs to hammer out the absolute best contract imaginable, all on its own. And what about handling risk? This is where it gets fascinating. AGI doesn't just look at what happened in the past, which is what ANI does. No, it uses something called causal inference. It reasons from the ground up to figure out completely new and unknown risks. I'm talking about things like commercial space travel or brand new biotechnologies. AGI can figure out the risk because it understands the why behind things, not just the what. And what if an accident does happen? Well, in an AGI world, the AI acts as an autonomous mediator. Imagine a complex car crash with multiple people involved. The different AGIs would instantly share all the evidence. We're talking legal precedent, sensor data, everything, and logically figure out the fairest outcome, right on the spot. All the emotional arguments, the long disputes, they just disappear. So, let's put these two eras side by side. You see AI's role evolving from just automating tasks to being a real strategic partner. Risk evaluation goes from basic statistics to deep causal reasoning. And that customer relationship, it's no longer just transactional, it becomes a genuine, trusted partnership. The bottom line is, in the AGI era, the competition isn't about who's fastest anymore. It's about who has the best judgment. Okay, now we're going to venture even further out into the really mind-bending stuff. We're talking about the phase that could begin around 2040, artificial superintelligence, or ASI. This is, without a doubt, the most transformative stage of all. It's where the very idea of insurance gets turned on its head, because managing risk, well, it evolves into eliminating risk entirely. The disappearance of uncertainty. Just think about that for a second. That's the core idea of the ASI era. Because what happens when you have an intelligence that is just monumentally smarter than all of humanity combined? The very foundation that insurance is built on, uncertainty, the unknown, it just starts to dissolve. And here's the fundamental shift, the really big one. It's not about preventing accidents with warnings or better advice anymore. It's about physically eliminating them. An ASI could potentially simulate our reality down to the molecular level. It could see the chain of cause and effect and just tweak it, ensuring that a catastrophic car crash or a building collapse is physically impossible. It just can't happen. So in a world like that, how do you even talk about your needs? Well, you might not have to. With things like brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs, an ASI could understand your intent directly without you saying a word. The very moment you start to feel a little bit of anxiety about a potential risk, the ASI already knows, and it's already solved the problem. Conversation, as we know it, just becomes obsolete. But what about something truly unpredictable, right? Like a massive earthquake. What if it still causes damage? Well, an ASI could command swarms of nanomachines to instantly repair any physical damage. We're talking about reconstructing materials molecule by molecule. The concept of loss itself would become this fleeting, almost unnoticeable blip in time. Okay, so after this incredible, wild journey from simple automation all the way to literally managing reality, you have to ask, what's left for the human agent to do? What is our role in a world that might be governed by a superintelligence? This final table really puts the whole evolution into perspective. You can see the approach to risk just transform, from prediction to prevention, and finally to complete elimination. But then look at the agent's role. It goes from a seller to an intellectual partner, and then, in the ASI era, it seems to just vanish. But does it really? And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. The insurance agent is no longer selling policies. That's a thing of the past. In a world where an ASI can literally manipulate reality, the human agent's role has to transform into something, well, something profound. They become a kind of governor, an ethical guardian. Their job becomes making sure that this unbelievably powerful intelligence is working in a way that protects human dignity, our free will, and all the values we hold dear. Which leaves us with one final and pretty profound question to think about. In a future where an omniscient AI is managing reality to keep us safe, does this new role for the insurance agent, this ethical governor, suddenly become the most important job in the entire world? Could it be the last bastion of humanity itself?